Alright guys, so Dricus Du Plessis beat Sean Strickland, and this guy constantly, he wins fights that everyone seems to think he's gonna lose. Like, I thought he was gonna get knocked out by Darren Till, but he destroyed him in the first round. The second round was closer, and then he submitted him in the third round. And obviously I thought he was gonna lose to Robert Whittaker, but he came out and just beat up Robert Whittaker. And now I thought Sean Strickland was gonna beat him, but he came out and it was a very close fight. I haven't watched it back, so I can't say who really won. Like, in my opinion, I still think Dricus won, but I gotta go back and watch the fight. But yeah, this guy just keeps proving people wrong. He's got a really good resume now, middleweight. 2 decision wins, both in the UFC, but outside of that, he's been finishing everybody. And he's called out Israel Adesanya. There might be Khamzat Chimaev that could be next. Jared Cannonier, he could potentially get a title shot too, maybe one win away. But yeah, so out of these contenders, and obviously there's a possibility of a Sean Strickland rematch. And you know, although they all pose a threat, I could definitely see Dricus beating all those guys. But I feel like the most dangerous style, or the style that is most likely to beat someone like Dricus, is probably Israel Adesanya. And the reason I say that, well, in the Darren Till fight, Dricus was having problems with like someone who could keep the distance, manage the distance really well, and land shots. Like obviously Darren Till was pressuring, and Adesanya is not going to pressure, but you know, Adesanya has better takedown defense than Darren Till, and if it's purely a striking match, Adesanya is the more technical striker, of course. We all know the game plan now on how to beat Israel Adesanya. We've seen Jan Blachowicz do it, we've seen Sean Strickland do it, and we've seen Pereira do it. But for Dricus, he was also having problems with Sean Strickland in terms of landing shots. Obviously, he made adjustments afterwards, but he was leaving some openings when he was throwing those haymakers. And Sean Strickland is not really the type of striker that's going to punish you when you make mistakes like that, but Adesanya will, with his counter hooks or maybe just pull counters. He's got great timing, great range management. But the problem with Adesanya is like Dricus is going to mix it up. He's not just going to go out there and strike with Adesanya. Dricus is going to throw awkward shots as well, so it's going to be harder to read at times for Adesanya with that awkward blitz, because he could blitz into a takedown like how Robert Whittaker did to Adesanya and took him down. And kind of like a Jan Blachowicz, because he threw like a punch, and then Adesanya, his first instinct was to pull back and counter, but that gave his hips. So Dricus could just out-grapple Adesanya. But you know, Adesanya has some good wrestling, but he was getting taken down by Robert Whittaker. Like I said, not the strongest guy, and Dricus is pretty big and strong. But yeah, and then moving on to Jared Cannonier, I think he would have a pretty good chance. Like, he's got some solid striking, he's got great volume, he can go the distance. But the problem with Jared Cannonier is, and he's got power too, that's another thing. But yeah, his problem is he does get rocked quite a bit. I think he's close to being 40. I think he's 38 or 39. And in his last fight versus Marvin Vettori, that was a great fight. But Marvin Vettori is not the biggest power puncher, and he was still able to wobble Jared Cannonier pretty badly. And Robert Whittaker was able to rock him too, Kelvin Gastelum. So the thing about Cannonier, like, his cardio is still there, his skills are still there, but it's his durability. And he got taken down by Marvin Vettori too, which is not what you really want to see. I think he might have gotten taken down by Kelvin Gastelum, I can't quite remember, but Dricus he's stronger than Marvin Vettori in my opinion, and Kelvin Gastelum. So, and he's got good technique too, and he's dangerous on the ground. So that's where the problem lies for Cannonier, the power of Dricus and the grappling of Dricus too. And to be honest, I think Khamzat Chimaev is probably the easiest matchup for Dricus Du Plessis. Khamzat, he's got decent power. Like at middleweight, he did one punch KO Gerald Mearshart, but he's mainly a grappler. Like we've seen that in the Usman fight, he's got some solid grappling. But Usman was a wrestler, and he didn't have a training camp, and he was still able to survive. And once he survived that explosion from Khamzat really didn't have much to offer. Usman has a great jab. Du Plessis, he's got a good jab too. He's very strong. He's bigger than Usman, so it's going to be harder to take him down. And I just feel like the pressure, the pace, and the power, it's just going to be too much. And I can see Dricus Du Plessis knocking out Khamzat Chimaev. And then there's a Sean Strickland rematch. And, I feel like, watching that fight back, Sean Strickland, there's a lot of things he could have done better. Like, throw more than a jab, maybe mix in a few more kicks in there. Because he was just really boxing. He didn't go to the body too often, which is something I thought he was going to do. But if he rematches Sean Strickland, I feel like Strickland's going to be more aggressive, and that's going to play a bit more into Dricus' game plan. Obviously, he might counter Dricus a bit more, but I feel like being in there with Strickland already is going to benefit Dricus more than Sean Strickland. I feel like he's going to be able to find his timing a lot quicker, know to go to those body shots, and now he knows that he can take him down too. So I feel like it would give Dricus more confidence, and he will get better. Same with Strickland, but Strickland typically fights around the same. But yeah, let me know what you guys think.